Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4. We're playing as the Soviet Union, and we're getting really close to some sort of Barbarossa. They are justifying on us. So this is going to happen very likely this episode, though I thought it was going to happen last episode. And to go over my sort of strategic thinking, one, I don't expect the AI to be too good, but we'll see quality of units versus our quality of units. I'm planning on holding what I'm calling the Stalin Line here along this river, whatever it's named. They need to put names of the rivers in this thing. This gap here at Vitebsk, then down this other river here. I don't remember the Soviet. Well, this is the Volga, I'm pretty sure. Like Stalingrad, I remember that, and whatever, but I really like that they added it. Even Black Ice was able to add in, took work, but able to add in rivers for Hearts of Iron 3, so it really helps out. Because I've heard all the names, it's just picking out which one it is. He give me Germany is. Yes. So we'll see. Dnieper is next to Kiev. Okay, cool. The Dnieper, I've heard of that. And so holding along this river, we built some level of bunkers, not too heavy. Some were sort of already there or given by events. So we're going to try to hold that. And I'm just going to sort of let them pound on me for a while to see how easy it is for them to get through. I mean, they get to push back the fairly thin frontier divisions. And we'll see how that goes. I presume they'll do that. I'm sort of hoping to go on a general offensive, bit of a swing out of the north here maybe, but maybe with this concentration, we'll push in and cut them in two here, or something in Finland. Try to take out Finland entirely, maybe then have a bit of a, skirmish with the Germans up in Norway. And that will, of course, will garrison the borders here in Finland, but and whatever other garrisons needed happening. Yes. What do you think we're going to do? Oh, that would be we're going to go over to 5 times. So and we're going to throw in another 5 artillery because that's what we're. And we need to trade for more tungsten. Actually, let's trade for more tungsten, but we're going to come over. Oh, do we still have enough? Yes. We're going to develop tungsten mines in the Caucasus. It's going to take 3 civilian factories. That's fine now. We could use that. And so we're going to see this is our forts were sort of built here, so we have a bit of a fallback. Okay, they declared war. They changed their diplomatic status. Wow, what do you know? Move industry to the Urals. Okay, 70 days. So we're going to do that. We have a lot of air. Now let's see, we have some air up here. We could put an admiral in charge of this. Ground pounder, Ironside, Seawolf. Okay, these are mostly submarines. Why are there non-submarines in here? I don't have a clue. No, I don't have a clue. Oh, I want to. Used to know all this. Why don't I know this anymore? Repair priority, no. Open task force composition. No, boy. I just want to break you guys off. Oh, there we go. Create a new task force. There we go. All heavy cruisers, all destroyers. Very good. I wanted to do that. That's what I wanted. And this task force, I want our Sea Wolf in charge because he's a submarine commander. And some of these I think have mines, so let's mine here. And these guys can be back out mining up here. That's good. Yeah, right now we're just going to be putting out the submarines to lay sea mines. Okay, German Reich has called on legionary. Romania break. Yeah, they broke the pact. War with Germany's bypassed. Yes, we knew that would be. Hungary. Okay, yes. Okay, our attaches will be sent wherever we wish to. Okay, non-aggression pact with Free France, certainly, and with the United Kingdom. Okay, where do we have air wings that aren't operation? Okay, these are strategic bombers. Well, that's why they're not operating. Let's actually move them back to Moscow. Where? Oh, they're already in Moscow. Oh, I was trying to move them to Moscow and they're in Moscow. Why did I think they weren't? I don't know. These guys, where are they? Vladivostok. Yeah, you guys get to just sit out there. I'm not going to waste fuel on having you fly around Vladivostok. I may... Well, we could bring the fighters back. Now these guys, yeah, let's bring these guys at least first to Moscow. Yeah, that'd work. Strategic bombers, they get to stay out there. What are these guys? 95 fighters, where are they? See, I don't know where this is. Here? I guess. And I'm going to be pushed into here. Okay. Oh, we want to slow this up at least to there. Why is it so hard to me to see which? Oh, here they are. They're way forward. Okay. Well, no, yeah. You guys come back to here. You rebase to there. That sounds like a plan. We don't need you up on the front line. Yes, yes, we know about them. That's it. Okay. If we come to a minefield, our infantry attacks exactly as if it were not there, Zukov the word. Yeah. The Soviets were very careless on life. I'm going to let the AI handle at least... Okay. Oh boy, everybody wants to be our non-enemy now. Okay, guys. NKVD units. Well, I guess we might as well have them sort of watch our rear to keep the partisans from, well, or guerrillas or whatever, banditti or whatever the communists call. Instead of just letting them all just die, we'll try to get some use out of them. Can watch the oil or something. Yep, Slovakia. Well, I don't know, bad luck. We knew they were coming. Oh, okay, non-aggression pact. Oh, Kingdom of Croatia wants to... Okay, well, I guess we'll take that. And we keep them from having New Zealand. I would have thought they would have been in the Axis and wanting to... Well, they all want to be our non-enemies. We'll come after the capitalists after we get done with the fascists. Okay, they've capitulated to Japan. Well, these units are being overrun pretty fast here. Okay. Yeah, these are more NQVD units that were sort of making the world safe for socialism. Well, these are actually being more overrun than I thought they would. As in, not just, I thought they would fall back better. Okay. Well, you guys retreat? No, you can't retreat. Okay. Might as well come to there. You're probably all going to die anyways, but they still be in a good cause. Is Finland in this yet? No, I don't think so. Let's just diplomatically, yeah, there. Okay. Now I do know that I had more or less one division per province, but the AI is still this bad. I mean, they let this whole thing happen. Now this was, I was thinking this would be a little bit more of a situation where these units would sort of fall back and join this defense line. And actively help it out, but maybe not. Oh, why weren't you back with the rest of the... Oh no, you're not one of those divisions. Okay, well, go over here. Oh, you're still... Oh, no. Okay, unassign, because we're trying to save you and not have you become a martyr to... Okay, yeah, you fall back to here. No, you guys fall back to here. Okay, you were going to... Yeah, make sure I've selected the right general. Yeah, we're gonna kill all of your orders because I'm taking over and I'm ordering you back to this sensible defense line. What well, maybe I'm wrong. I'm just sort of anticipating if I strategically bomb Germany, they're just going to shoot my aircraft down. Maybe they don't have any... Oh, America joined the Allies. Seeming a little early, but okay. Okay, go back to the fortress. Fall back, you fall back. Japan declared war on the Dutch East Indies. Instruction good. No, you fall, you come into there. Okay, we're gonna slow this up even more. Okay, I wanna look and see how Oh, good. What's happening? Oh, the United States. Did they nuke Hiroshima already? Wow. How the hell? I'm presumed from Guam, but how the hell did that happen? Okay, well, we'll see how that's going. Join war. Okay, Mongolia, you can join the war. And we got some research done. Okay. Extraction of materials, yes. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay, so here they are now on our Stalin Line here. With some units that have fallen back. Okay. Okay, you come into the front line even though you're only NKVD. You come up over here too. Okay, that is reasonably good.
Выдвигаться. Выходим! Целюсь!
Yeah, I should just, well, probably kill all the orders, but...
Пошли, пошли!
Hey, Mecha Boy. Okay, well, always ready to pull interesting moves, even wait till to take, yeah. Well, I'm probably going to take Hiroshima and then bomb it once they occupy it. No, my prepared positions are actually doing pretty good. This was fairly event-given defensive line that I did put out some sort of sacrifice divisions there. The only place they're touching along the prepared line is up here so far, and we're doing pretty good. We're coming into contact with it in more spots, but the U.S. invaded Japan. They haven't taken it yet. That's what I say. They got Hiroshima down here. And yeah, you know, yeah, it's the AI. I mean, okay. The British kept the main part of their fleet, their primary fleet, up here at Scapa Flow through most of the war. Or for a good chunk of the war, and especially during the war before the U.S. get involved, they do somewhat riskily sort of send a lot of the units out looking for the Bismarck once it's out. But the one thing that they're not going to do is send the fleet away to be invaded, because that fleet is, you know, Britain sees it very much. If you lose Britain, you're sort of done. Yeah, you can sort of be army in exile. Oh, we should move these guys under. Yeah, just to give a little bonuses. But, you know, so they keep the home fleet big and strong. They move it out a lot more once, you know, America's in the war and they know Germany isn't going to be invading Britain or anything. But until then, you know, one thing they're not going to do is lose Britain, kind of thing. Okay, so I don't know what the AI has been doing with the Japanese fleet, but how can you not keep control of this and or this sea, you know, both of these seas, well enough to stop any invasion, which again I'm presuming is coming from here. Theoretically could come from the Philippines, which Japan has invaded. That's good. That's smart of them. But, you know, it's just basic primary things. Why were the Soviet divisions so smaller than the German ones, in your point of view? Okay. Oh, did you ask up there? Sorry. Well, I know I've explained this before, and I thought fairly recently, but maybe you weren't around. Those Marines are hard driving or hand delivering the bomb. Okay, cool. Yeah. Basic Rifle Division versus German Infantry Division. Well, okay. Part of it is just a name. Okay, Mecha Boy. You got to think of a Soviet division as really a brigade. It's not really a division. Why are the division? Why do they call them divisions instead of brigades? I'm not entirely sure. I think part of it is propaganda, both for internal consumption propaganda and external. You know, we have 100 divisions. Well, they have 100 brigades. That's, you know, sort of equivalent to, or fronts, like they often use the term front, where the Germany's using army group, and it's all on the Eastern Front or the Mediterranean Front or the Western Front or whatever. So, you know, you can say I have 100 divisions when they have 100 brigades, which is like 30 divisions. Part of it is that. Part of it, and if you look at some of the earlier mid-1920s or mid-1930s, I would say, before all of the purges start happening, there's a lot of big Soviet divisions. Some of their war games show that they're cumbersome. And you have to realize here, and okay, this is part of, we're going to go into talking, we'll get back to playing here in a moment. And yeah, I know I've talked to some of my good, loyal friends here that I got to be able to talk and play, but just a little difficult for me. Run away, run away, run away. You're getting unselected because I want you to run away, run away. Yes, thank you, Loud Motorcycle. Okay, so they have some very big divisions. You have a command and control situation. And when you're talking about, say, the Napoleonic Wars, man, we got car alarms going off. We got, I don't know if you're hearing it with the RTX voice and other loud things going on down there. Other loud stuff. Okay, sorry, I'm getting distracted here. When you're talking about the Napoleonic Wars, a division commander, because Napoleon is, well, no, the British had divisions too. Divisions are being really sort of formed. The idea of a division is really being formed in the Napoleonic Wars in any sort of meaningful thing. But a division commander in a Napoleonic War can go sit on his horse, maybe on a slightly, I'm not talking like a real hill, but just some slightly higher ground, and look from his right to his left and see his entire division, see every single buddy in his division. Oh, and this is like when they're actually fighting in combat, because many of the men are literally shoulder to shoulder, and they're two to however many ranks, because if you're looking at the Napoleonic side of the thing, they're in their columns, so you know they can be 20 ranks deep or whatever. And so you can see all of your troops all at once, and you can have somebody who blows a horn or beats a drum to command basic things like like advance or retreat, or something like that, or you just quickly get there with a pen or a pencil kind of thing, because the ink is flowing all over the place. You don't want to use it. You, with a pencil, you write out a command, or you give a verbal order to, a simple one to one of your riders, and he rides, or a runner, and he runs and gives that order to some other officer, advance to the barn or whatever, something like that. And so command and control is very easy to do with a division in the Napoleonic Wars, because what they're developing with the Napoleonic Wars, both, and I know it mostly from the British, but also from the French side more so than other nations. But a division is developing in the sense of not just a collection of battalions, because armies are still mainly organized as battalions for real battles. So it's not just a collection of battalions, but it's a group of battalions that are working together over a long period of time. And although in some cases you have the same set of drills, that are being practiced, because even in the Napoleonic Wars, under different generals, you still had different drill schemes happening in the way they would do stuff. But often it's the same set of drills now under one divisional commander, but it's the sort of battalion commanders and battalion command staff get used to working with the same overall commander, instead of literally one day under one, the battalion is attached to one general, and then the next day is attached to another general, and then maybe so you get used to one general, they get used to working with each other, they become a unit, and so they're forming in a semi-permanent division in the Napoleonic Wars. That's happening. Okay, so now jump to World War II. In most cases, a division commander can't see all of his troops. They're too spread out, and be able to give them orders, what to do, where to do it. Okay, so how do you communicate with what's going on? How do you know what's going on? I hear a lot of shooting. It sounds off to my left. Let me go over and look and see what's going on. Okay, so the bigger the unit, that's like the general. He hears over to his left, so he goes to see what's going on. Well, how else would he know what's going on? Well, through communications equipment. But so much of the Soviets don't have radios. Okay, I don't quite know how far down the radio goes in most Soviet units, especially, say, in the late 1930s, early 1940s. Most of the Soviet tanks at the start of World War II, I mean, well over 50% of the tanks at the start of World War II, don't have any radios in them. And you're lucky to get a platoon commander tank that has a receiver radio in the tank. So how do you command these units? And so you can have, say if you have a company commander and he has a two-way radio in his tank, and let's just say each one of the platoon commanders has a receiving set. All they can do is hear. Okay, so a platoon commander can drive his, and you can, say, I don't know how big the Soviet tank platoons are, but probably not more than 5 tanks, probably not less than 6 tanks, and I just don't know. They drive around a corner, drive over a hill, come out through a forest, and they could see a bunch of panzers out there and get killed and have no way through this whole thing to let the company commander to know that these are, there's presumably, let's say there's artillery going off and there's other noise going off, so it's not like it's been quiet and then they're shooting. Let's just say there's shooting going on generally. The company commander doesn't know that one of his tank platoons is either destroyed, engaged, or whatever, and so you can defeat that unit in piecemeal. And so maybe at some point the company commander gets aware of it and will maybe start telling the other platoons to do something. And so what is a tank commander going to do? Regular tank commander, what is he going to do? Is he going to look for the enemy, or is he going to watch his platoon commander? Because he needs to either watch his platoon commander to watch what his tank does, drive forward, drive backwards, or he's going to watch for the flags because he has a semaphore system to wave flags around. And so, yes, as Spiraling says, yes, use of flags was as for comms, absolutely. So, so instead of the tank commander being situationally aware, like looking for the enemy, he's watching his platoon commander, and it is quite possible, and I'm not sure that it's unlikely that even the, say, company commander is trying to keep the idea of what the battalion commander is doing without radios. So you've got all this stuff that they have no way to communicate to each other. Okay, where the Germans, basically down to the Panzer Is, they've got at minimum receiving sets, if not, down to the individual tanks. And at some point, basically all the tanks get two-way radios in them. And I say this because I don't know the details. I do know if we're talking like 1936, 1938, there's still, I think it's mostly the tanks are getting receiving sets, and only the platoon commanders are getting sending and receiving. And that's where the sort of, the Panzer I, the little boxy one that's the command tank without the turret, they have multiple sets of radios in there to, talk to different units and talk to higher command. Yeah. Early on, so that's early on. By 1940, I think many of them are getting standard tanks, not the command tanks, standard tanks, sending and receiving sets for Germany. Initially, the German armored half-tracks, most of them don't have radios. By around 1943, all the new half-track, the armored half-tracks coming out, come with a radio as standard, and it's a two-way radio. So the Germans can communicate. A divisional commander can theoretically call a particular, on the radio. It's not like a telephone number, but, he could be out there with his, you picture Rommel and his little, communication radio equipped, because that has a longer radio, that sort of antenna thing, and Griff, however you pronounce that, famous half-track he used in North Africa, that has that antenna frame on it. That's just a bigger radio antenna, basically, up there. And he has multiple radios for longer range. But he could, if he knows the right frequency, and he often was at the front, he could, tune into the right and say, Tank 501, there's somebody to your left. I mean, literally, Rommel may have actually said things like that because he was that close to the front. So, now he's in North Africa for the Germany theater commander there, but he can communicate down to a single tank if he's got a radio operator or whatever that can get to the right frequencies. So he can do that. The Soviets basically don't have that ability, and this goes for the same down to infantry divisions, and even more so. The Germans throughout the war, and the Americans, still use a lot of field telephones. That's because radios are still this unreliable that whether it's weather effects, solar flares, whatever, or just terrain effects, radios aren't still effective enough that even for panzer units, mobile units out there, they're laying field wires out there to keep the telephones communicating, going around. So the U.S. Army is doing it. The German armies are doing field telephones through to the end of the war. And so that's part of it. But the Germans definitely have a lot more radios. Now, for the Americans, and I don't know if the British don't use American radios. Not entirely sure why. They just don't. Americans get radios down to the squad, because what is commonly called a walkie-talkie, which is technically the backpack radio, and the one in your hand was technically called the handy-talkie. But they've got that sort of big, sort of super-sized cell phone thingy kind of radio, and that is revolutionary for the period. And that actually goes, I think it's mostly platoon level, but in some cases it goes down to the squad level. So the Americans are, a huge amount of a radio network going on, and they can communicate. The Soviets have nothing near that. So you've gone through the Soviet command purges. So you've gotten rid of all of your many of your experienced officers. Especially, now they may be somewhat out of date in actual battle experience, but a bunch of them were maybe rather junior officers for the Russian Civil War or something like that. Or the war with Poland or whatever. At least they've had military experience. You've gotten rid of them. You've now terrified the rest of the surviving officers. And you put commissars everywhere, second guessing, overruling, whatever, the command structure. So instead of because you can have a brigadier general, which is theoretically a brigade general, but you've just got less qualified commanders with not very good communications, so he can't effectively, and the Soviets did find this in some of their maneuvers, their bigger units, that because of the lack of communication, trying to get them to all operate well becomes a problem. So that is why we have the situation with smaller. I know it's a long way to get there, but I hope that's interesting, and I'm pretty sure that is basically what, at least that's my understanding, is how things go. Okay, drive the Soviets back. Yeah, Mecha Boy wants to know. Well, first I'm going to see if they can penetrate my line. I'm keeping all of my armor forces either back here in the group or mostly, where are they? Here. And somewhere up here, and there's some others. Those are these guys here, and Lukov's forces are down here. So those are our armored forces. They're reserve, and I'm keeping them as such if we start to see breakthroughs through the defensive line. Okay, you guys, you move back. Okay, we're gonna scrap all of your orders. I think you're the last unit. Okay, no, you're going to come over to here. You're going to fall back to here. You're going to fall back to here. You're going to keep going on to there. You're going to fall back to there. The United States is called the Philippines. It's okay. Yes. Okay. You guys keep moving back. What are you doing? Oh, we want to cancel your orders too. Yeah, just run away. Okay, you can send me 4 divisions. Mongolian divisions. Just what I needed. We're safe. We're safe. Horsey divisions. Okay, and a castle division or whatever that is. And so we're just going to see if they can penetrate the Stalin Line. That's sort of the first experiment here. If they can't penetrate it, well then great, we'll see about pushing them back. After that, okay, we have this other sort of sacrifice line here, the old frontier, at least down in this part, for Odessa. Okay, where are you going? Okay, what is it? Oh, there's fortifications here. You march up and see if you can hold there. Or counterattack. You support the counterattack. You support the counterattack. No, we may not be able to hold this. Oh well, if we can't, we can't. Nope, okay, I'm taking non-aggression pact with the U.S. Sure thing. Send the Mongolian Division Guard courts to free up your better. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well. Surprised you even know what a fax machine is.
Мирно.
Okay.
Выходим! Жду приказа. Жду приказа. Слушаю.
Well, you might as well fall back to the bunkers if you're going to sit on that side of the river. See, here we have just level 1 bunkers. Level 2 there in the city, but we have a stronger defense line back here. Okay, how are we doing for... Okay, we need artillery, we need anti-tank. We need more medium tanks. Looks like they've shot down a lot of my naval bombers. How's the air war going? Well, fair. We're not really winning up here. Let's, what are these? These are fighters. So let's put them up here. That may help down here. Let's move some tanks up to here just in case there is a breakthrough. That's their job, is to counterattack. Yeah, I used to have a fax machine at my office for sure. Okay, you march down to there. You march to here. You march to here. You march to here. That's an NKVD unit. Okay, well, they've cut us off here. We got a lot of nice... Oh, those are enemy sea mines too. We're both mining the thing. Okay, you guys start... Yeah, just heading back this way. You guys head back that way. Just retreat, just effing retreat, fall back, I don't care. That's why we have a fallback line, is to get back there. Preferably before you're overrun. Yeah, fall back, just everybody fall back. Well, I don't know, maybe those guys will be lost. Okay, you just keep coming back this way. I thought they were out of stream right after I added the beta. Okay. Very good to hear. Yeah, I knew it was installer error. You need to move all of Hoi 4 out of the Steam folder, copy it out, whatever, and then okay, just everybody over here. Go, 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 go. And then once you get there, just keep going back to here. To Steam version and not. Yeah, that's you have to do a new shortcut to see it. 12 to be on the right. Okay, fall back.
Давай, давай!
Fall back, just fall back to here.
Не стоим, идем.
Okay, yeah, okay, so you're on the peninsula there. You're an NKVD unit.
Жду
You're
приказа.
coming to here.
Слушай!
Good. Dig into there. Yeah, no, fall back. Fall back. Fall back, fall back. Oh,
Я готов.
guys, keep going back, keep going, keep retreating.
Брось!
How many forts do we have? Oh, fall of Kiev. Okay, we have 4 forts. Well, probably enough. Oh, not okay. Philippines, fine. Now, what are you thinking? Okay, you're repairing. Well, no, you're actually doing proper construction work. First off, that's good. Now, this is another thing I wanted to quickly talk about here. There's a tactical principle. This guy's sitting here with the fort on this side of the river. The Germans definitely built defensive positions. And I say that, which it could be stuff, built in, a few hours, a few days, a few months, whatever that might mean, behind, say, rivers. And, okay, I'll check the casualties in just a moment. Definitely used obstacles like rivers and whatnot to build behind them. But they would also build them in front of the river. Sort of like this, but they would build a line along here. And the idea that the Germans had is to have a reasonable defensive line on the, shall we say, the enemy's side of the river as they're approaching. So that the enemy would come up here, and then they would try to identify where the main push is. That because they figured they can't defend the whole river line, because the enemy is going to, once they're ready, they're going to bring enough force to penetrate the river line. And so their idea is to have not just a picket force, not just a few units out there just to sort of be observers for artillery, but to actually have a real force, one that would be able to stop light attacks. I mean serious, but not the main attack. So they would stop the main attack, and then they would see where the enemy is actually battling through to the other side, and then move the reserve forces to there, and so that they just run into a big brick wall kind of thing. And so that's sort of the German tactical principle. Okay. That will not do commander tower. Yeah, okay. Casualties and current wars. German-Soviet war. There we go. Okay. Soviet casualties. We've only lost 500,000 or just under it. Germany, they looks like they lost 900,000. Oh, well, this is all their what is it? German right casualties. Oh, that's who's doing the killing. So this is total for all the stuff. So this is okay. That's who's killed them. So they've lost 900,000 casualties in the war in total, but to Germany it's 146,000. So they've killed a lot more of our people than we have of theirs. Okay, see here they're pushing here, and this is looking like they might get through. So we're going to move this NKVD unit up just because it can be there quickly. And them up. And unlike the AI, I'm not going to be moving these guys up as you know, strategic redeployment, so it's not going to get them disorganized. Okay, these guys here, they were sent here to guard the ports. You go down to Sochi. Yeah, the NKVD can stay there. And we can go here. Hang out in the mountains. Naval battles. Well, okay, certainly. Okay, our air has damaged some of theirs. They've shot down one of our naval bombers. We're laying some mines. And that looks like about it so far, Marno. We don't get to see what's going on in other places, but okay, you guys go back into there. Come on, I've been telling you guys to retreat. Just retreat, damn it. Okay, well, since you've been so obstinate, you and you will go there while these guys go there. So we're sending some down to the Crimea to hold down a little better. Okay, how are we doing? Naval bombers, yeah, I already knew that. Fighters, okay, well, we barely have enough extra, so I'm not going to create more fighter units. Oh, we never really did this. We prepared. Okay, commence. See if we can rescue our captured spy. I really like a lot of the spy stuff, but I just takes too long to set things up. Seems like for me most of the time, by the time getting ready to do something, world events have surpassed, you know, or made whatever we were trying to do less useful. Uh-oh, they pushed us out of here. Go into there. Rush into there, rush into there. I want that bit of peninsula there. That's so dangerous. I'm going to build a bunker here. And you're going to get moved to the top. I think I caught that before they got... Well, they got in there. Okay, well, maybe we can still get... through to there before they reinforce effectively. Well, I don't know. So far, the Stalin Line is holding. On that note, we're going to end the episode. Not the live stream, but the episode. So I want to thank everyone watching. Thank you for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, I love hearing from you. So post questions, tips, suggestions. See you next time for more Hearts of